you still stayed on for Foursquare Labs and did that for a while, and then at some point decided to leave the company. And I listened to a few podcast interviews in preparation, and you were saying, I think it's 2 years ago, you were asked if you can imagine building another venture, and you were like, currently nothing that excites you, and not the feeling that you have to build something huge again. Now you're building living cities, and you decided to build something new. What changed your mind? What came to the point, or made you come to the conclusion that you're like, okay, let's do this again?
Yeah, well, I think it's the difference between like building something new and building the same thing again, right? And so, I personally feel like there's a lot of parts of the Foursquare vision that have not been realized. There's a lot of stuff at Foursquare Labs that could exist as standalone products, standalone companies, and I just left that stuff behind there. I've resisted the urge to say, hey, remember that project I was working on 4 years ago? I'm going to dust that off, and we're going to make another version of that. In the same way that Foursquare was a continuation of Dodgeball, I feel like it'd be very easy to go make 3 other things that came out of Foursquare Labs and say, hey, these things are a continuation of Foursquare. And I just haven't wanted to do that. And, I've kind of moved on to other projects, which I think is healthy. And it's just fun. I'm learning a lot, being involved in these 2 different things, Street FC and Living Cities. Wait, I don't think I answered your question.
The question was what made you change your mind, building something new?
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to not do anything, right? I like to build things. I got to go and build stuff, right? I have other stuff too. I have a semi-pro soccer team that we built from scratch, right? That's a super fun, real world and analog project, right? And just multiple other side projects, but Street FC and Living Cities are the things that I spend a majority of my working time, building.
I think we have to explain what Living Cities does, and I would love to quickly quote the website, and then you have to explain what that means, because the website says, experience the social metaverse like never before. And this is a broad statement that everybody could interpret anything into. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, well, Matt, my co-founder, wrote a really amazing blog post, and I think it's titled "Reality is Scarce," and that articulated the vision and position of Living Cities when we started. Right now, as a lot of companies do, as you're building, you take a left turn here, you take a right turn here, and sometimes you get lost, and you find your way back on the path. So, I could interpret that sentence from when that post was written, which was in 2021, right? Or 2022, or, what we're doing, what we're focused on now is turning real spaces, for example, the room that you're in, or the room that I'm in, or the room that's out here, into playable game spaces. Right. So how do you capture an environment using the sensors on your phone, right? We all have on our phones, and then turn those into spaces where you can meet with friends and play with friends and either, make games and do other social activities. So a lot of the stuff is happening. It happens in video games like Fortnite. It happens in the metaverse with, VR Chat and Rec Room and Oculus. And we think there's something that's in between those 2 things, and that's what we're working to build.